Hi everyone, welcome to Pilates and Planks. My name is Callie, and today I'll be guiding you through a mini workout series. This workout will focus on strengthening our back body, so the muscles of our spinal column, our glutes, and our hamstrings. You don't need any props for this workout, just your body and a mat. If you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna begin in an all fours position, finding the point where you have your shoulders on top of your wrists and your hips on top of your knees. Take a big breath in through your nose for cow stretch. Tilt your tailbone to the ceiling. Lift your gaze slightly, being careful not to hyperextend your neck. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your tailbone underneath you, push the floor away. Again, breathe in, tilt the tailbone up to the ceiling, drop the belly, lift the sternum, and exhale, round your spine, tuck your tailbone underneath you, pushing the ground away. Lengthen out to a nice neutral straight spine. From here, extend your right arm and your left leg. Thumb faces the ceiling, back foot can be pointed. Place everything back down. Switch sides. Continue alternating on your own timing. Make sure that your hand and your knee leave the mat at the same time and come back at the same time. Whichever arm is left supporting you, be mindful that your elbow is not hyperextending on you. Let's all meet with our right arm and left leg extended. Begin to gently lift and lower that right arm and left leg just a few inches or so, being mindful that we're keeping our spine stationary. We're not sagging into that lumbar spine. 4 times, round your spine, pull your elbow and your knee close together, drop your head. Inhale, reach back out to a long straight line. Again, exhale, round your spine, push the floor away. Inhale, reach back out. Last 2. Staying forward over your supporting arm. Last time. Stay extended, reach out all the way straight, and place everything back down. Left arm, right leg, small pulses up a few inches at a time. Moving from your shoulder and moving from your hip. Keep your spine still. 4 times, now we move from our spine. Round the spine, drop your head, pull the elbow and knee towards each other. Inhale, re-extend straight. Exhale, round, push the ground away. Inhale, reach. 2 more. 1 more time. Stay extended, reach out all the way straight, and place everything back down. Tuck your toes underneath of you, lift your hips to the ceiling, taking downward facing dog. Press your chest back through your arms. Maybe alternate bending one knee at a time, feeling a stretch in those calves and hamstrings. Nod your head yes and no. Take any movements that feel nice. You can keep your feet about shoulder width apart, and we're gonna come forward into a high plank position. If you need to walk your hands forward a little bit, that's fine. Make sure your shoulders are directly above the creases of your wrist. When we're bearing weight on our hands, you wanna separate your fingers nice and wide, grip the mat a little bit, so you have a little suction cup underneath the palm of your hand, and feel that you're pushing away from the floor, so your scapulas are flat across your back. Keeping this plank shape, begin to shift your weight forwards and backwards, moving from your shoulders and ankles. Be sure to keep your core tight. Still keeping this plank shape, let's draw a circle. So shift your weight forward, shift right, back, left, and forward. So 2 circles one way, and then 2 circles the other way. Take your time. The height of your plank should stay the same. When you complete those, stay shifted forward, and with your elbows hugging your rib cage, lower yourself all the way to the floor like you're one solid piece. Once down, you can untuck your toes, move your hands a little bit in front of your shoulders. Take a breath in as you lift up your chest, extending your spine for swan stretch. We want to have our hip bones off the ground, but pubic bone stays on the ground. Then place yourself back down. So if the stretch is too intense or you feel like your pubic bone is going to come up, walk your hands further away from you. We want to feel that we're lengthening our spine versus crunching back up into it. Finish up this last swan and lower yourself all the way down. Bringing your hands directly underneath your shoulders, bring your legs pretty close together, almost touching. Lift your hands, chest, and legs all up into a little hover. Put it all back down. Again, lift everything up into a little hover and put it all back down. Let's do that a few more times. While we're doing work lying on our abdomen, we want to imagine that we're doing this on a bed of nails. So you would want to pull your abdominals in, away from the imaginary bed of nails, versus pushing your abs out. And the reason this is important is so that we are keeping our lower back protected and our abs properly engaging. On your next one, remain lifted in your hover. Extend your arms all the way forward in front of you, get as long as possible. Stay lifted as you bend your arms, bringing them back into where they were. Let's continue reaching those arms out and in. Keep pulling your abs in away from the floor. And feel that you have even weight through your 2 hip bones and pubic bone at this point in time. So that pelvis is neutral. Keep your arms extended forward in front of you. Lower everything down to the mat at the same time. Lift everything up at the same time. Continue lowering and lifting on your own timing. At this point, I typically have my hands and feet about as wide as my mat. Next time, stay lifted up in your hover. Take this into swimming, little alternating kicks moving from the shoulder and hip socket. You could take your 100 breath pattern, breathing in through the nose for 5 and out through the mouth for 5. While you're taking swimming, you should feel even weight throughout your hip bones. We are not teetering right or left. One more full breath cycle in through the nose for 5. Out through the mouth for 5. Plant the palms underneath the shoulders. Press your hips back onto your heels. Take it into a child's pose. Nice work. Feet together, knees apart. Shifting back up to all fours. Shoulders above wrists, hips above knees. Maybe cycle through another cat and cow, especially emphasizing cat stretch so you can give those muscles up and down your spinal column a well-deserved stretch after that little series we just did. Lengthen out to neutral. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, down dog. Alternate bending one knee at a time again. Again, you can keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Coming forward, high plank. Walk your hands forward if you need to or want to. Make sure that your shoulders are above your wrist. Draw your right knee towards your left elbow. Press it back out, switch. Opposite knees coming towards opposite elbows. Keep your upper body frozen in space. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding your plank position. Take a breath in, shift your weight further forward. On your exhale, with your elbows hugging your ribs, lower yourself to the floor like you're one solid piece. Untuck the feet. You're gonna stack your hands one on top of each other in front of your forehead. Ultimately, you're gonna be resting your head down on top of your hands, bending your knees, bring your heels together, toes apart. My knees are a little bit off the edges of my mat. Feet are flexed, and you want to pull your heels close enough to you so that your heels are above your knees or your shin bones are completely vertical here. Keeping your upper body relaxed for this moment, squeeze your glutes, lift your legs up off the floor a few inches, then put them back down. That's it. Just lift the legs up and put them back down. The muscles responsible for doing this are going to be your glutes and hamstrings. And we're back on that imaginary bed of nails. So we definitely want to make sure we're pulling our core in or bracing our core so that we're not just dumping into our lower back here. But at the same time, you need to make sure you keep a nice, heavy, grounded pelvis. So 2 hip bones and pubic bone evenly weighted. Always so many rules. We're gonna add on to this movement. So in addition to lifting up your legs, you're now gonna lift up your upper body, hands, chest, and head, and then put everything back down. Breathe in, lift everything. Exhale, put everything down. We'll slow it down a little bit now that we're getting a little bit more advanced with our movement. Adding on again, we're gonna lift everything up into a hover, extend everything straight, bend everything back into where it was, and put everything back down. Lift everything into a little hover, extend everything straight, bend it all back in, and put it all back down. 3 more. Lift, reach, bend, and down. Last 2. Last time. We're gonna stay extended on this last one, everything straight. Take it back into swimming, big kicks. Your whole thigh should be off the floor. Even weight through the pelvis. 1 more breath cycle. Breathe in through the nose for 5. Out through the mouth. Plant your palms under your shoulders. Press back into a child's pose, hips to heels. Shifting back up to all 4s, shoulders above wrists, hips above knees. Take 1 more cat and cow stretch. Again, cat stretch is gonna feel a lot better after all that spinal extension you just did. In your cat stretch, feel free to wiggle your hips and spine right and left. Take any movements that feel nice. Lengthen back out to neutral. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Stretch out those hamstrings. Pedal out. Placing the knees down, finishing with feet together, knees apart. Take a child's pose, reach your arms really far forward, forehead finds the mat. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale it all out. Start to walk your hands back towards your knees. Keeping your hips on your heels, you can round your spine and start to slowly roll yourself back up. When you get up to the top, roll your shoulders up, down, and back. Thank you all for joining me for today's little mini workout. I hope your postural muscles feel super strong and ready to carry you throughout the rest of your day. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment on it, and share it with your friends who also love to work out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.